Applejack shook her head, lifting her hoof to wipe the sweat from her brow. Squinting, she looked out across the orchard. "Only 2 more rows to go," she said, grinning to herself as she pushed her hat back down, retrieving the free buckets from her cart to set down under the next apple tree. As she turned around to buck the tree, she caught a sight of a pink mane between the trees. Grunting, she reared up her front legs to deliver a powerful blow to the apple tree behind her, the fruit raining down on into her buckets before she returned her rear hooves to the ground so she could wave to her friend. "Howdy there, Fluttershy. What brings you here today?" Fluttershy jerked her head to the side at the sound of her name, the shy pony trotting off the road and making her way between the apple trees. Applejack blinked at the pony's downcast expression, her own ears falling back at the sight of Fluttershy's lowered ears and watery eyes. "Oh, I don't know what happened. I can't find them anywhere." The farmer grimaced. She should have known this was coming. "Who you looking for?" she asked, eyes flickering away from her friend. It was too hard to look a pony in the eye and lie. "The vampire fruit bats. I went to visit their sanctuary, but they weren't there. I must have searched for hours." Applejack sighed. "That's 'cause they're gone, Sugar Cube." She lowered her head to grab the handle of one of the buckets in her mouth, lifting it from the ground so she could set it back into her cart, its precious cargo of apples gleaming in the afternoon sun. "They left their sanctuary and started eating all the apples again." "They did? Oh my goodness! I thought they would stay there. They seemed so happy there." Fluttershy looked around. "But these trees look all right, and they are pretty close to the sanctuary." "You didn't notice all the trees on the outside of the sanctuary that looked sucked dry?" Applejack asked, struggling to keep her voice level as she trotted over to her second bucket, picking it up and setting it in the back of the cart. "They left as soon as they sucked them all dry." Fluttershy's wings sank back against her back, her tail tucking itself in close behind her rump. "Oh no, why didn't you ask us for help again?" Applejack dropped the second bucket into the back of the cart with a loud thump. "'Cause it didn't work the first time," Applejack growled, before lowering her voice at the sight of her friend shrinking away. "It ain't your fault, Sugar Cube. Those bats were just real bad apples. They aren't like your animal friends. They don't listen or care about any pony." "But your orchard," Applejack sighed. "Oh, we lost about a quarter of our trees before Granny Smith finally took care of them. Things are going to be alright, but we'll make it. It'll be tough, though. But on the bright side, at least we're almost done bucking." Applejack nodded her head towards the trees. "These are the last 2 rows. All the apples on the other side of that road are no good anymore. So at least we're going to get it done on time and won't have any spoil on the tree." Fluttershy glanced back over the shoulder at the trees beyond, red fruit hanging from their boughs, still glistening in the afternoon sun. "But hey, look, okay? I mean, I saw a few trees that looked like they weren't doing very well, but most of them looked alright. They're all bad apples now. Anything that the fruit bats had are nothing but mush, and you know the saying, the one bad apple spoils the barrel. It's true." She jerked her head, and she stepped back over to retrieve the last bucket, sending it to the back of the cart as Fluttershy watched. "Couldn't you just throw them away, though?" Fluttershy tilted her head. "That's a lot of apples." "Well, it ain't the only thing that's wrong with them." Applejack leaned over at the back of the cart to push the 3 buckets full together, securing them in place. "Granny Smith treated them with something to make sure the bats wouldn't eat any more of them. But they ain't fit for a pony consumption either. We're just gonna toss them away, so there ain't no urgency bucking them." "But they tasted okay," Fluttershy said quietly, turning her head to the side. "Oh, I hope you don't mind, but I took a couple of apples when I was on my way over here there. They smell so good, I couldn't help myself." Applejack smiled. "That's fine. I don't mind if I lose a couple of apples to my friends. Just don't take too much of a habit out of it." Applejack stepped over the front of the cart, starting to push herself onto the harness, before pausing. "Wait, you said you ate apples from over there?" Fluttershy nodded. "I'm sorry, I just got so hungry after searching for the bats Applejack felt the bottom falling out of her stomach, her eyes widening in horror. "What's wrong? Or are you upset? Stupid Fluttershy!" You shouldn't have. Get in the cart. What? I said get in the cart. But Applejack's vision swam before her eyes clenched shut, the trapped tears leaking down her cheeks. Damn it, Fluttershy! Those apples were poisoned! Poisoned? Applejack opened her eyes to look at her friend. Fluttershy had dropped to the ground, her hooves crossed in her chest as she trembled violently. Yes, poisoned! That's how Granny Smith got rid of the bats! Now get in the cart! The Pegasus only pulled her legs more tightly around herself, drawing her wings and legs in, her head bowed. But if you didn't get rid of the bats, how would the bats know if it was poison? Fluttershy, I ain't arguing with you. Get in the cart. Applejack, eep! Fluttershy squeaked as Applejack wrapped her hooves around the barrel of the Pegasus, hefting her off of the ground clumsily, staggering over and depositing her into the cart. Fluttershy, I'm not letting one of my friends die because she ate some bad apples. Applejack rushed back to the front of the cart, quickly wrapping the harness across her chest over her back before taking it off at full speed, the cart rattling loudly as it bounced down the side of the hill. Applejack, what happened to the bats? Applejack didn't look back over her shoulder. She could meet her friend's gaze. No matter how scared she sounded, she just couldn't do it. Applejack, please tell me what happened to the bats. Tell me they're all right. Applejack bit the inside of her cheek. Please, don't worry, Fluttershy. You'll be right as rain, you'll see. We'll just give you some... Applejack! Fluttershy shouted, before her voice dropped once more to a quiet, pleading tone. Applejack knew that if she looked back, her friend would be crying. She had to keep it together for Fluttershy's sake at least. Please just tell me what happened to... As the cart burst out of the orchard into the main road leading to the farmhouse, Fluttershy fell silent beside a road large section of the fallow fields that had been recently disturbed, the grass replaced with a large mound of freshly dug dirt. Not another word was spoken until they reached the Apple family home.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.